Hello, and welcome back to the Intelligence Mod Pod. As always, my name is Bobby, and I'm here to teach you everything that I know about Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. Now, today is our first episode where we are going to be talking about classes. So first up, we have Barbarian. And I thought to help us with Barbarian, who better to bring in than my very own personal pocket Barbarian, who's there for me anytime I need her, and that's Robin.
Hi.
So now, have you played Barbarians a lot before Dion Rising?
I don't know that I'd say a lot, but quite a bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, in different variations of the game, I guess. So not strict 5e.
Mm-hmm.
But I have also played a barbarian in 5e, but it was a berserker. So,
Mm-hmm.
just all out rage and
Yeah, just punch
meatheadedness.
as hard, be as angry.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I have to admit that I have never played a barbarian of any kind. I have built a couple for some campaigns, but they, you know when you get like all your characters lined up and there's always that one that doesn't quite make the list.
Hmm.
Barbarian for me is always that one that doesn't make the top 3. It's like right there in like the 4 or 5 area. But it never
I
quite makes it.
That doesn't surprise me, honestly. While I would very much enjoy watching you try that out, I
I
don't know that you would like it.
I don't think you would like how I would want to play a barbarian.
Oh,
Because
that's
the ones
intriguing.
I've built, when we get into subclasses a little bit
Hmm.
more, I'll flesh out exactly what the idea is. But every time I've made one, I've wanted to do Ancestral Guardian, which I believe is from
Yeah.
Tasha's. Um,
Hmm.
and my little gimmick is that I'd slap a bow on it because I would lose the rage damage, but still anything I hit with my bow would have disadvantage against anything other than me, and I'd be back in the back. So
Oh,
we can still support with it, and we can do damage reduction with it.
so we're still a support
Yes, we
barbarian.
are. One day,
Okay,
one day we need to do it
now I
one shot,
really
and I'll
want to
bring
see
my
it.
support barbarian.
Yes, because I want to see you play that.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Hmm. I definitely think we should. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Um, so with barbarians, we are going to start the first part of this. We're going to talk about 2014 because I feel like that's what the most people are going to have.
Hmm.
Because a lot of people are a bit hesitant to get the new books, or this is what they've had, this is what they like, so that's what they want to continue playing as.
Right.
After that, we're going to move into 2024, which is what we currently are playing on in our campaign.
Hmm.
Um, but we do have a cute little section here at the top that has something that both of them have completely in common that does not change in any way, shape, or form, and that's their basic absolute stats that really don't
Hmm.
change. The first being that your hit die is a D10. A D12, I'm sorry. I have the same template from
Yeah.
when I did Paladin with Dane, and it was a D10. It's a D12, which is
Hmm. Yep.
massive.
Yes.
Absolutely ridiculous. So at level 1, you're getting at least 12 plus your Constitution modifier. That's
Hmm.
that's a healthy character.
Oh yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that the highest in the game?
That's a good
I
question.
haven't talked about Fighter, which is another class that I don't really play a whole lot.
Hmm.
Um, and Fighter's the only one I can think of that might
That might even
give
possibly.
Barbarian a run for their money.
Yeah, I have never played a fighter, so I don't know much about
They
them.
do not. They have a D10. So yes, Barbarian has the highest hit die in the game. We love that for them. At least I do.
Excuse me. I certainly do. I got real excited about that D12.
Yeah. As someone who plays like mages and spellcasters who never get above that, D8 area,
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how dangerous I would be with a D12 of health.
Oh my gosh. Listen, I go from this game that we stream online to my
Mhm.
in-person game within the same week, and I'm a rogue in the other game. So it's
Ooh.
like big and burly and then squishy. I have to be like, have to get myself in the mindset. Like, don't run out in
But
front of that.
I
This
do
is
want to
not
say
Beulah.
I like that you pick both characters that get the half off damage at a certain point.
Oh, heck yeah.
I
Hmm.
Something I really want to do. I am an absolute whore for cross classing. I
Yeah.
would love to do a a rogue that once you get up to uncanny dodge, and then take some barbarian, because
Oh gosh.
barbarian is worded in a way with their rage that you gain resistance. Uncanny dodge is worded that you take
True.
half damage, which means they stack.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. Your ideas of like spinning things together is just another level.
Look, I pick a niche and I just run aggressively with it, with any character that I play. So yeah, so we're getting that D12 of health. We'll get back to rage in a bit. And with every level, we either get a D12 plus con, or we get 7 plus the con mod. As a player, are you a roll for health, or are you take the average?
Um, it depends on who my DM is,
Ooh,
because we have some that only want to play a certain way that I've played
yes.
with. And so then it's up to what they want.
Hmm. But what do
But
you prefer?
I don't feel like I have feelings about it,
Okay.
honestly.
I feel like that's normally a hot button item. I know personally I hate rolling for health,
Yeah.
because I will always get the one.
I was about to say, I guess in the ones that I have rolled, I don't think that I have had ones that terrible,
Hmm.
honestly. So maybe I'm just haven't been burned enough on that one to have feelings about it.
I have been scorched so severely that I literally just had my character commit Sudoku so I could make a new one.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was at that point that I was like, "There's, it's pointless. I'm gonna get smacked by a goblin and die."
Oh, that's funny. No, because the DM that I play with a lot, they only do roll for health.
Mm.
So I guess that's just what I'm used to. But
Okay.
like I said, I've never gotten that burnt on it. But it was funny when I started playing with you guys and I started making Bula and I like rolled my stuff and you guys were like, no, no,
Please take the
don't
average.
do it.
Don't do it.
I was like, oh, okay, okay.
I mean, personally, my advice to new players would always be take the average. But if you're feeling risky, the roll is super nice, especially when you do pop that 12.
Yep.
Mm. Um, Now, when it comes to weapons, barbarians are going to be able to use pretty much every weapon in the game. They get access to
Hmm.
simple and martial weapons, but armor, they only
Hmm.
get light, medium, and shields.
Yep.
Um, but we're going to talk about why you might not need those things once we get into the class themselves. Their
Oh,
saving throws are strength and con. I
yeah.
love this because they're both physical. They're
Hmm.
neither one of them like the mental stats. These are both physical saving throws, and I think that's kind of flavorful. I enjoy it.
Yes, I do too. There's a lot of fun things you can do with that.
Hmm. And I feel like strength is, a saving throw that as a barbarian frontliner you're gonna be getting a lot, and con is one that, if you are playing a tank, you're gonna want to be able to withstand things.
For sure.
For
It doesn't
our, oh,
necessarily make sense to be your tank and not
yeah,
be able to.
yeah. For your skills, you get a choice of two out of animal handling, athletics, intimidation, nature, perception, and survival. I also think this is a really great list.
Hmm.
I think the standouts for a barbarian are going to be athletics and intimidation, personally.
Yep. I think that's what I took for Bula.
That doesn't surprise me. I know if I was making my support barbarian, we would probably be going nature and survival, or perception and survival,
Hmm.
I think, is what I would do.
I
But,
did have one that I played in a very, very short campaign, um, that I took animal handling,
oh, yes.
and it was like I don't remember why we were in some kind of safari wilderness type thing,
Hmm.
and with my strength and then my animal handling on top of that, I like wrangled like big giant beasts. It was a lot of fun. Just like find a rhinoceros and roll to, I don't know,
Hmm.
tie a chain around its neck and jump on and just like ride it through battle and just crush people. I'm not gonna lie, that was satisfying.
Yeah, I feel like animal handling is this really special skill that it's never needed, but it's never
Nope.
not wanted.
Right?
Like so many fun things happen because of animal handling checks. You know,
Yep.
it's never going to be like you have to have animal handling. But if
Mhm.
you do, you're going to have some more fun.
If you do, and you have an imagination,
Yeah,
it makes for a good time.
it sure does. Um, and so, with that, your role in the party as a barbarian is almost always going to be melee DPS or tank, unless
Mhm.
you are playing some kind of niche, crazy bullshit that you concocted because you can't play things correctly.
So, Bobby bullshit.
Yes, if you are doing the same brand of bullshittery that I subscribe to, you might have a little bit of a different outlook on Barbarian. But for the most part, you should be stacking in that melee DPS or a tank
Mhm.
role. I will tell you, Barbarians are my favorite tanks in the game. I know everyone likes to make a fight for fighters being the best tank, but as a healer, I would much rather have a Barbarian tank than I would a fighter tank, personally.
Yeah.
Or even a Paladin, I would rather have a Barbarian than them. So getting into 2014 Barbarian. So as soon as you take this, you're going to get a couple of fun little choices that you have to make. Starting off, you will have either a great axe or any martial melee weapon. I will tell
Mhm.
you why you would take the martial weapon over a great axe. I don't know. I think that's a choice, and I don't think it's a good
Yeah.
one.
I have flavored one before with just a big like Warhammer, and it was cool, and I got to
Mhm.
do cool things with it. Um, but when you look at the damage next to each other, it's just that anything sharp is just going to have better damage than anything
Mhm.
bludgeoning, which makes
Yeah.
sense.
The only way I see this being even a choice is if you're doing a niche build where you might need a longbow to
Hmm.
start. You know, like for me,
Right.
I would take the longbow. Or no, it says
Mhm.
martial melee weapon, so you could even do that.
Oh, no, you're right.
No.
You're right.
So I don't even know. There's no reason. Don't. Don't.
Unless it's purely for flavor, but it does cripple you a little bit.
Even flavor, take the great axe, find a merchant and sell it because it's going to be worth more money.
That's
Trade it
true.
for something cheaper that you want because great axes will get you a little bit of money.
That's true.
After that, you could also take two hand axes or a simple melee weapon. Even this one, I would recommend the hand axes because you get two of
Yep.
them and you can throw them.
Yep.
Followed
Love
by,
throwing hatchets.
yeah, you gotta love throwing shit. I mean, this is where you could maybe pick up, like a short bow, but even still,
I'd rather throw an axe.
yeah, yeah. And our final option, or it's not even an option, you get an explorer's pack with 4 javelins. So we're already getting our javelins built into the class. They're just going to hand you those because they want you to have them and they want you to throw shit. Um,
Yep.
as a barbarian, do you ever forget you have javelins?
Absolutely, all the time.
every
I like
combat
I'm
encounter.
yes, I'm more likely to like look around and pick up a big old chunky rock and throw it before I remember that I have javelins.
No, I get it. I throwing weapons, I never remember them. I just don't do that. But I also play spellcasters almost exclusively, so I almost always have access to range. At first level as a barbarian, you are going to get, as everyone else, proficiency bonus of 2. You're also going to get your rage. Now, your rage is going to start, you get it 2 times per long rest, and this is your
Mhm.
keystone ability. So, this one we're going to talk about a bit longer than pretty much every other ability that we're going to talk about today because there's a lot in it, but it is literally your bread and butter. If you don't
Oh
use
yeah.
your rage, you might as well have just played a fighter.
Yep.
Like, just being
It's
honest.
true. It's true. And it adds so much to the character.
It does. And like flavor wise, it doesn't have to be anger rage. This can be like intense focus. This can
Hmm.
be, just so many different things that you can think of that get you like in the zone. You can
Hmm.
reflavor this as.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Sometimes Bula just gets overexcited.
so with this, on your turn, you can enter a rage as a bonus action. While raging, you gain the following benefits if you aren't wearing heavy armor. Now, I think it's odd
Hmm.
that they put that in here specifically because barbarians don't have proficiency in heavy armor anyway.
Right.
So you shouldn't be wearing it anyway. But just in case you thought, oh, I'll take a feat that'll get me that, and I'll outsmart the system. No, not
Nope.
today, Satan.
Well, and it makes sense too. I mean,
Yeah.
if you think of it more in the way of like a Hulk, like he would just smash right through that.
Yeah, and as we're about to talk about with the ability after this one, you don't need the heavy armor.
Nope.
So with this, you're going to have advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. That's already amazing because you are proficient in strength saving throws. So now you have advantage and proficiency. Excellent.
It's nice.
It's very good. Also, when you make a melee weapon attack using strength, you can gain bonus damage to that increases as you level up. So at this point, we're at 2. It is a +2 to all melee damage. Using strength specifically. So you cannot be someone that is taking like a rapier and trying to do like a dex-based barbarian. You can do that, but don't expect to get your +2 damage. You have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. So these are all like the physical, non-magical damages. That specifically is why I like them better than a fighter. Because they might not have the ridiculous like 26 AC that the fighter has.
Right.
But when they do get hit, they're only taking half damage.
Yeah. Because most of the things, the barbarian's going to be the one generally that's going to run up in the front and get in somebody's face. Well, at that range, somebody's going to try to hit them, stab them. You know, I mean, you're still going to have your spellcasters off to the side that might get them. But, I mean, it pretty much, that's resistant to pretty much all melee damage.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much all of your magic combatants, be it other soldiers, animals, what have you, they're all going to be using these physical damages, and having resistance on it, amazing. Super good. It's super great. I love it. However, it does come with one negative caveat, and that's that if you are able to cast spells or concentrate on them, you cannot cast them or concentrate while raging. So if you already have a spell in concentration, it's gone.
Yep.
I think that's a fair
I think it's a fair trade-off. Yeah, I do. Barbarians aren't necessarily meant to be your magic users. They're not meant to. So if you've taken something where you are doing some spells or something, then it makes sense that once you get honed in on what is your major barbarian act, that becomes the focus. I think it's a fair trade-off.
I do. We also have that your rage lasts for 1 minute. It ends early if you are knocked unconscious or if your turn ends and you haven't attacked a hostile creature since your last turn or taken damage since then. They also have a weird little part of this that says you can also end your rage on your turn as a bonus action.
Right.
I don't really know why you would want to end your turn and take a whole ass bonus action to do so. But if you're so inclined, I guess we have options. Even if they're bad options.
They are bad options. So that part right there, not that you can end your rage, but the one that says that ends if you end your turn without attacking a hostile, that your rage ends. So that was kind of the straw that made Dane drag me kicking and screaming into the 2024 Barbarian.
Yeah,
because
and we're gonna
when we were in.
Yeah, we will talk about the exact. Yeah, we'll talk about the exact change once we get there. But yeah, I remember that. It was very. Robin was very much like, no, I'm sticking with this. I like this. And I feel like it took, like, all of us to talk her into it. And then Dane just, like, he knew how to have that little cherry on top that pushed it over.
He did. Well, okay, so here's the thing. It wasn't like I like this better, because there are good things in the 2024. It was more of a, I'm intimidated and I have to actually know what I'm doing since we're streaming. And I didn't want to, like, go to the new one and then look like an idiot. I didn't know what I was doing to play my character. So it was when finally he was like, okay, but you could have done this. I was like, okay, fine. We'll just do it.
I remember, like, when we, had made the whole, like, decision that everyone as of now is in 2024. It was such a triumphant day for us who were trying to get everyone to update. Because I remember, like, Royal immediately switched. Before it was even out, he had switched.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I was like, I'm not switching until I have the book in front of me, just in case, something is a little different. But boom, the moment things were leaked, he was in it.
He was on it, yeah.
So back to rage. Once you've raged a number of times shown on your barbarian level in the rage column, you must finish a long rest before you can rage again. So that does go up as we level. But yeah, you are limited to the amount of times you can rage, which again, I think is fair.
I do too.
Because it's so strong.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
Can
If
you
your
imagine?
spellcasters can only have certain spell slots, then you have to limit your physical stuff too.
100%. And like, can you imagine just being a barbarian and having resistance to piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing just forever?
Oh gosh.
It'd be crazy. I would genuinely be terrified of that character. Like, no joke. But after we get done with that, we get to another one of the level 1 absolute. This is going to carry you throughout pretty much the entirety of any campaign you're playing, and that's unarmored defense. So while you're not wearing any armor, your armor class equals 10 plus your dex plus your constitution modifier. You can use a shield. So, I did some math before we got together for this talk.
Oh, okay.
Because I wanted to know, is it worth it to wear medium armor instead of using unarmored defense? All right. So at level 1, the highest you can have your con and dex. This is if you're building a pure tank, dump your strength, put everything in con and dex. The highest you're going to get to is an AC of 16, because that's 3 in each, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can get up to 3 in each of those, which is 16 plus a shield. That pops us up to 18. Now, if we were to take the absolute top of the line medium armor, this is like end game medium armor, so you're not going to have access to this at level 1 anyway, but just for funsies, we're going to talk about it.
Okay, fair.
The highest with like absolute max dexterity is 17. So, I mean, at max level, you add, let's just say, for instance, we somehow get 5s in both dex and constitution, right?
Yeah.
That means your AC is going to be 22 or 24 with a shield at max level with light, whereas max level without it is a 22. So,
yeah,
we're losing 2 AC points with unarmored defense, but think about the money we're saving not having to buy expensive ass armor.
Right. Well, and if it breaks or whatever, or there's a lot of things that can happen. Yeah. Plus, it's just not as fun.
It's not as fun.
A barbarian wearing armor is kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, and also there's like magic items out there that can make up the difference for that. The first one that comes to mind is like bracers of defense, which is literally if you're not wearing armor, you get +2, and boom. There's your complete argument for using medium armor.
Oh,
absolutely gone.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It is poof, auto magic, it's gone. So use unarmored defense. Trust us. If you're like super level 1 and your DM is going to give you like a really high, thing. Oh no, actually, I totally lied to you. The highest you can get is just 17, because we can't add con to that, because that's only if you don't have unarmored defense.
Oh yeah.
So it's 20 versus 17.
Yeah, yeah.
So no, I lied to you all.
Use
unarmored
your
defense.
Hide.
Yeah. Listen, use your bear skin. No, you don't need armor as a barbarian. Period. Once we hit level 2, though, we're getting reckless attack. I feel like this is, in my experience of DMing, this is the most misused feature of the barbarians. And let me tell you why. Reckless attack, when you make your first attack on your turn, you can decide to attack recklessly. Doing so gives you advantage on melee attack rolls using strength, but all attack rolls made against you until your next turn are with advantage as well. There is a very specific first attack on here. So once we hit level 5 and we get that bonus extra attack, you can't miss the first one and then decide the second one you want to recklessly attack.
Right.
And I feel like that is something that is hardcore, like everyone does that. And I don't think there's any DMs that really enforce it, but
yeah,
I think that's probably the most misused ability for barbarians. Um, but I would recommend using this. I think it's good. I think it's strong. If you are that melee tank and you've got the D12 weapon, you want to be hitting.
Right, especially if you know that that your foe is looking bad and you might can finish them off and
Mm-hmm.
just go for it.
Yeah, and if you're, I'm going to tie 2014 half orcs into this conversation a lot. If you're a 2014 half orc and you get that enhanced critical, where if you hit a crit, you get to add an extra weapon die,
Yep.
you want to crit fish as much as you can.
The more you roll, the more you have the opportunity of hitting
Yes.
big.
So you want to roll that d20 as many times as you possibly can. You want as many opportunities as you can. I would say if you're playing an 2014 half orc, you want crit fishing as much as a paladin wants it for their smites, because
Right.
you're getting more than their smite is. Because like this paladin smite's a d8, and you're getting an extra d12.
Oh yeah.
Boom,
Worth it.
absolute. After that we
Especially if you have a good healer to back you up.
yeah. Get a healer that has Shield of Faith and let them buff that AC. That way you don't feel bad that the fighter next to you has one extra AC than you. We can fix that. Don't you worry. Next up we have Danger Sense, which is you have advantage on dexterity saving throws against effects that you can see, such as traps and spells. To gain this benefit, you cannot be blinded, deafened, or incapacitated. Again, as a tank, this is so strong.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I want my tanks to have, because as a healer, I do not want my frontline tank taking a lot of damage. And this right here is almost going to guarantee they either don't take damage or they take half damage.
Right.
And if you're in combat and they're using bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing, honey, they're going to take half of that.
Absolutely.
This is a great one. They did upgrade this one a lot for 2024. We're going to get to that in a bit. But I feel like Danger Sense is an unappreciated ability. I feel like a lot of people don't even think about it that much. But when you're delving into dungeons and you're facing a lot of traps, I feel like this one comes in clutch.
It definitely has its time and place.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't quite been in the situation where we've needed it as much in this campaign, but I
Mm-hmm.
have in others. And it was, like you said, it was a dungeon type grind where every room had 25 booby traps in it, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I will say, for Danger Sense specifically, there is a subclass that comes to mind that this becomes infinitely stronger. And that is the Totem Warrior, or in 2024, or 2024, I think they renamed it the Wildheart, and that's because they gain resistance to all damage but physical. So, like, even Fireball and the spells that have the dex save, they're getting, advantage on those, which could then make it no damage or half damage. And then of that half damage, they have resistance.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Do you remember the time when we tried to pressure you into playing that subclass and you were like, no?
You mean
No.
you? It was you.
It was me. I might
nothing.
I have two favorites, one that I like my tanks to play and one that I want to play. And I can't wait for us to talk subclasses so we can really get into the nitty-gritty of why I like them so much.
Yeah.
So at level 3, you are going to be getting your subclass. Again, we're going to talk about those separately because we really wanted to get into the nitty-gritty of what these classes are about before you start getting into all the varying branches that go along with them.
There's so many.
There's so many. Thank you, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. We love you. At 4th level, we're going to get that ability score increase, so you get to add 1 point to either 2 different abilities or 2 points to 1 ability score, or take a feat. As always, I recommend 4th level to be a half feat. Find one that gives you that +1, and then take the SI next time, is what I would recommend. This is going to sound not the way I want it to, but are you a feats person or an ASI person?
It so depends on the situation and the character. Because some of those early feats end up being so useful later on. Of course, leveling up kind of on your stats and stuff makes your rolls a little less.
Mm-hmm.
You just have a bigger range for your rolls there. Um, but again, depends on situation and character. But I do tend to always want to scroll through those feats and see what they do.
I will tell you that I'm a feat man. I I will take the feat pretty much
You don't say.
every time. I don't like the ASI. I would like I don't know if you've noticed from Maraway, but I like when I have a wide array of versatility in front of me.
Hmm.
I would rather have 300 options that I can do moderately well than 20 options that I'm really fucking good at.
Right.
So my advice is always take the feat, but I know as both a DM and a player, it's not always
Hmm.
honestly the correct option. Sometimes the ASI is better.
Sometimes, yeah.
Um, Fifth level though, this is I think where the barbarians really start hitting their stride as a powerhouse, because your proficiency goes up to 3, and you're also gaining extra attack. Now, extra attack for marshals is it's like crack. They can't get
Oh my
enough
God.
of it.
I love it so much.
It really does completely shift the power dynamic from like the casters just being so powerful to now the
Yeah.
marshals are just like hacking everything before the casters get a chance to cast.
Well, because you go from like, I hit it, I did okay damage, or I hit it, I missed, to that, and then, fine, I hit it again.
I do it again.
Do it again.
So for anyone who doesn't know, extra attack, what it is when you take the attack action, you get to attack twice instead of once. Now, I wanted to really make that like verbal because some people when they first start playing think that like they can do an action and then get the extra attack. And it's like, no, you have to take the attack to get the extra attack. It's like it's a all or nothing kind of
Mhm.
deal.
Yes.
But as a barbarian, why would you do anything other than attack?
Right. Yes.
Why?
And I will tell you when you hit that first one and you roll the best damage, it
Mhm.
is just the best feeling to be like, I'm gonna do it again.
It truly is.
With your DM sitting there going, okay.
Yeah, it truly is just amazing. And on top of that, at the 5th level, you're also going to be getting your speed, like your movement speed, increased by 10 feet while you aren't wearing heavy armor.
That's right.
Now,
Because
people can't
why
even
would
run
you
from
wear
you.
heavy armor?
No one can run from you and your 2 devastating attacks.
I know,
Um,
right?
and also, I would like to say, if you are really wanting to just like do a lot of attacks without worry about the D12, taking a long sword in one hand and like a dagger or a short sword in the other that has the light property, you can attack twice with this one and once with this one for a bonus action.
Yep. It's true. I will say though, while you can do that, I am such a sucker for two-handed weapons
Mm-hmm.
because the amount or the amount of damage.
Big number is big.
Big number is big. I know, and it feels so good to be like, I hit that thing for like 20 points of damage. Take
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will agree. And I will say that your 2 longsword hits and a dagger is not going to stand up to just the two great sword attacks. It's not going to
Right.
happen. You're not going to do as much damage, but if it's a gimmick, go for it and make sure you have that offhanded weapon so you can do that.
Yeah, for sure.
At 6th level, we're gaining another subclass feature. Again, we'll go over those at a later date. But that brings us into 7th, which gives us Feral Instinct. So by 7th level, your instincts are so honed that you have advantage on initiative rolls.
Yup.
Okay, so here's how things are stacking. You're moving first because you have high initiative.
Nope.
You have the bonus 10 to your movement speed, so you're getting to them before they can react, and then you're just unloading 2 devastating attacks on top of them with your rage, so you get that bonus damage.
Yup.
And you're recklessly doing it, so you have advantage on those attacks.
It
Oh my
feels
God.
real nice.
To me, there is nothing scarier than a big-ass barbarian charging me.
Nope.
Like, that's when we go to Code Brown, and I'm freaking the fuck out. Uh,
Yeah, I definitely don't like to be against them, that's for sure.
no. Also, additionally, if you're surprised at the beginning of a combat and you aren't incapacitated, you roll normal. So you don't have advantage, but it does take away the surprised disadvantage.
Yep.
Come on. Come on. These barbarians are just ready to throw hands at any moment.
Always.
I mean, that's what you're here for. That's 100% what a barbarian is here for, is throwing hands. I like to joke that fighters, the only thing they can do is fight, and that's why it's in their name. But, like, I feel like barbarians are very much in that same category. Like, that's their niche. They get in, they do fighting, and that's it.
It's true. They also have like a high strength and stuff, so I do like to think that they can be useful other times, like, breaking into something. Not quietly.
Yeah.
Not quietly, but if you needed something carried, pushed,
I feel like, so if you were doing a bank heist, the role of the barbarian, there's two. One, you're carrying all the loot for your group, because that shit's
100%.
heavy. Or two, we all got caught and we need someone to break the wall down.
To get out of here.
Those are the barbarians' roles in a heist. Don't think as a barbarian you don't have a role in a heist. You do.
Oh, absolutely. It's not going to be sneaky, but if we need to get out in a hurry, we're going through that wall.
Yeah,
like
and like
the Kool-Aid Man.
if you're doing a heist in a like public area, this might be kind of cool. Is you could also kind of double as the face of the group a little bit and distract everyone with your strength.
Absolutely.
So you could also be the distraction. As a barbarian, you have a place in any heist, and don't let people tell you otherwise. Because
you have a place anywhere. You just have to have the imagination to make it so.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if we're heisting it, that shit's heavy. Why are you stealing like little shit? Don't do it. Heist the big stuff.
I don't steal things at all, but
no, steal it.
Don't steal little things.
Heist it. If you're breaking in somewhere to steal something in Dungeons and Dragons, it might as well be worth your time. If it's not worth the jail time you might go through, why are you stealing it?
Agreed. Go big or go home.
8th level, we're getting another ASI, so we are, again, you can have your ability score increase, or you can indulge yourself in the feats, your choice. 9th level, where proficiency is popping up to 4. We love to see it. We love when proficiency goes up. On top of that, we're also getting our rage damage increased to 3. We love to see that. I haven't been keeping up with how many rages we get. Apologies, everyone. But we're up to 4 now instead of 2. We went up to 3 at level 3, and then we went up to 4 at level 6. So we're in 4 rages now. We get +3 to the damage. We're living good as a barbarian at this point.
Raging all the time.
Now, this is a spot that for 2014 you really cross over with orcs that I wanted to talk about. So you get brutal critical. When you crit, you roll an additional weapon die when determining the extra damage for a critical hit with the melee weapon. So if you're already doing that with an orc, now you're already getting 2 of them, 2 extra.
Yep.
Which is literally the 13th level feature. So you're getting a 13th level feature at level 9 because you're an orc. What else could you want? After that, level 10, we're just getting more subclass shit. Not that it's shit, it's just, that's not what we're here for today. I'm just being honest.
Thank you for that clarification.
Of course. But then that brings us to level 11. Which is your relentless rage. If you drop to 0 health points while raging, you don't die outright, and you can make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw. If you succeed, you drop to 1 health point instead. Each time you use this feature, the DC increases by by 5. So that means you could make this multiple times.
Oh, yeah. Just too angry to die.
Yes. Also, half-orcs in 2014 have this lovely feature, and I think they kept it for 2024, where if you are dropped to 0, you drop to 1 instead one time. So you're also getting this feature with one bonus, extra one, that you don't have to roll the con save for.
Mm-hmm. Yep, which is nice because, again, you're just, I run at it. I'm going to get in its face. I'm going to be on the front lines. So having that extra, you might not die.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It is. It's absolutely great. I will say, though, there is a subclass out there called the Zealot, which almost makes this not needed, but it's still good. It's still great.
Yeah, it's still good.
At level 12, we're just getting another ASI or more feat, your choice. And at 13th level, our proficiency is going up to 5. At this point, we're gaining that extra die, or the extra weapon die from brutal critical upgrading. But that's really all we're getting this level. Not that, a whole ass extra weapon die isn't lovely, but how often are we critting? Let's be real.
Well, I mean, here lately, how often am I even hitting?
Right. So at that point, if you're playing as a half-orc and you have this now, you are using 3 weapon die, which I believe is your 18th level or 17th level feature that you get at level 13 just because you're an orc. You might as well be, recklessly attacking every time because you want those crits. Do not settle. If you are rolling a crit and your DM is like, it hits, you better roll that second advantage one because you might get a crit. Don't waste it.
Absolutely.
Don't settle for just a hit. Level 14 subclasses again. Once we get to the higher levels, that's when Barbarians really like their subclass a bit more. But that brings us to 15, where you get Persistent Rage. Your rage is so fierce that it ends only if you fall unconscious or if you choose to end it. Excellent.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's super great. There's no negatives. There's no downside. There's no outplaying it. It's great. You just better hope that whoever you're playing against doesn't have like a 2024 sleep spell, because that's no longer based on health.
Right.
Here comes Seraphina, just boop.
Good to sleep.
At 16, we're getting an ASI, and 17 proficiencies going up to 6, and we're getting another brutal critical upgrade. So now we're at 3, but if you're an orc, now you're at 4. That's so ridiculous to me that critting, you're getting double damage plus 4 extra.
Let me hit something.
That means you are getting essentially 6 times the normal damage.
Oh, yeah.
It's so crazy to me. Like, can you imagine as Bula just getting, 6 times, rolling 60-12s?
I can't wait.
That's terrifying. Well,
I can't wait.
I do have a little bit of bad news for you once we get there, but 2024 Orc did not keep the Brutal Critical. So you're only going to get to roll 5, only 5 of them.
Dang it. Because I haven't looked that far. I've looked at the 2024 stuff as we've gone, so I haven't looked ahead at it.
Yeah, well, here in a moment, we're going to look ahead in 2024, and you're going to learn what is in store for you in the future. We're going to take some important rolls and know what's happening.
Fair.
At 18th level, though, we're getting Indomitable Might. If your total for strength check is less than your strength score, you can use the strength score in the place of that total.
Oh, gosh.
This is so... I just love this. Imagine rolling, a 2, but your strength score is a 20, so it just becomes a dirty 20.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Excellent. I love this. I think it's super great. And once you hit 18th level, you better be asking your DMs to use strength as intimidation, because then the lowest you can roll is a 20. Because if you don't have a 20 by this point, what are you doing?
Honestly.
Unless you're going full tank, in which case you probably went Dex and Con, in which case I will forgive you. But if you're not, if you're going DPS, you better have a 20 by now.
Yes.
Even if you took feats, you should have enough +1s to get you there by this point. But if for whatever reason you don't at 19th level, here's your chance with another ASI or additional feats.
You've had plenty of chances before that.
However, if even at this point you have not reached the 20, one, I'm disappointed in you. I would never tell someone how to play their character, but I'm disappointed. But just in case, we do have Primal Champion, where your strength and con scores both are increased by 4, which is fucking insane to me. And your maximum is 24 for those. So if you already had a 20, now your maximum is 20. You have a 24. Which means the lowest you can roll on strength checks is a 24.
Yep.
Insane.
So excited. So excited.
Yeah, so just hitting level 20 automatically gets you 2 extra AC because your con is included in your AC. Mm-hmm. Excellent. This is so good. But again, you have to hit level 20 to get that. How often does that happen?
I know.
Never.
So I've played so many games from like levels 1 to, I don't know, 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm.
And then either the character dies or the game fizzles out, or I've even had some that ended at that point. Like the campaign ended, the story ended. Yeah. Like I so hope that we get to some of those higher levels in this campaign because I want to play them so bad.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I know we're at least going to hit around the level 12, 13 area, but I don't know after that how far we're going for Dion Rising.
Right.
But I also am very excited because I'm trying to think what the highest I've ever had a character be, and I want to say it's only like 8.
Yeah.
8 or 9. It's somewhere in there, like, for actually playing.
Now, I've done one-shots at level 10, but not higher than that.
Actually, I think I have done we did a one-shot, yeah, and it was what level 11, 12, something like that? I think it was 12.
Maybe it was, I thought it was just 10, but I could be wrong.
It might have been. I don't know, that was a long time ago.
But I've done other ones too, like here, where we would do a one shot and just say, "Hey, everybody, roll your level 10 character." That's fun because you just get to play with some of that higher level stuff.
Yeah, I love one shots
for a second and see what it is.
I think one shots are so much fun. I'll tell you, you know what my favorite thing though is? Even over super long campaigns, I love doing like a mini adventure that's only like 3 sessions. Like you go into it knowing it's only going to be like 3 sessions. Because the reason I like those, and this is us going off on just random D&D tangents for everyone, but when you do one-shots, this is your chance to play an unhinged character that the consequences don't matter.
Right. Exactly, because you're not trying to keep a character alive forever.
Yeah.
You're just going for it.
Absolutely.
So if you have a DM that is running you at higher levels, you're getting to experience all that higher level stuff. Yes. But you can do it crazily.
I remember.
It doesn't matter.
So I actually had a character I almost brought to the stream, right? And I played him in a one-shot. It was like a level 8 one-shot. And he was a dream druid, right? And of course he was Fae because that's what I play. His name was Dandelion. And he had like all black eyes, pointed teeth. He was a fairy. Like he had this black goop across his face, so it's just like blackout eyes. And his whole shtick is that he was like a wheeler and dealer. So in order for me to heal you, you had to give me something. We had to make a deal for the healing. So I essentially became the U.S. healthcare system.
There's that.
Yeah, it was a good amount of fun but no one wanted to take my deals.
Gee, I wonder why.
I was like, if you want the healing, give me your favorite childhood memory. And everyone's like, nah. I was told in that session that Dandelion was both the most welcoming and unsettling character that they had ever played with all at the same time. And I was like,
I don't doubt that at all.
That's literally the Feywild. Is welcoming but unsettling. But anyhow, we should probably get back on topic before this turns into a 2-hour video.
True.
So we're moving on to 2024. Now, a lot of it stayed the same. Some of it changed a little bit. So first thing out the gates, our starting equipment, all of the starting equipments for the 2024 are different. They've made them, in my opinion, easier. So you get one of two choices now. A great axe, 4 hand axes, an explorer's pack, and 15 gold, or 75 gold.
Right?
What would you pick?
I picked the stuff.
Interesting. I would have gone 75 gold.
Really?
I'm a tools person. I like having access to like tools and other janky shit. So
Yeah. I think if it was a different character, I might have, but with the barbarian, it's like, give me the pointy stuff.
give me the pointy yeah.
Because you can upgrade along the way.
Mm-hmm. Um,
I also hate shopping, so
I could see that.
in game and out of game. So
I hate
I was
it.
like, just give me the stuff.
I hate out of game shopping. Going shopping in person, oh, the worst. I'm like, I make a list, I get in, I get what I want, I get out. My husband,
Same.
he is not. He wants to wander through every single aisle and look at every single product and then ask me if I want things that he knows I do not want. And it's like, for the 500th item, no.
It's not on the list. Can we get it done and go?
I don't want it. So I don't know. In D&D, I like shopping because I like to get busted stuff, but I could see the draw of just taking the items. If you're a new player, take the items. These are great items, and it's a good starting point. But also at level 1, again, proficiency bonus is 2. The rage is still 2 per long rest with a +2 damage. This is pretty much the exact same thing with a couple of new things in it. So we're still getting the damage resistance. We're still getting the extra rage damage. We get the strength advantage on strength checks and saving throws. You still can't concentrate or cast spells. But the duration is different. They gave y'all a buff. Y'all are looking lean, mean, raging machine. So now it lasts until you don't do the hits or whatnot. But so it's the same thing as before. But now as a bonus action, you can extend it.
Yep. I love that feature.
I mean, what's not to love? It's absolutely bonkers. Just the idea that you can just extend it for up to 10 minutes.
And that is the feature that Dane sold me on.
Listen.
He was like, yeah, but you could have done this. Oh.
Yeah. And they do have
shiny.
They do have it like a very fine point that every time you extend it, it lasts until the end of your next turn. So, you can maintain that for up to 10 minutes, but if you're not doing the attacks, you're not doing anything else, you have to use the bonus action to keep it.
Like, you're not just going to sit there under a tree and do nothing and just rage.
Yeah, no.
Because that's stupid.
Are you really
You have to
angry?
actually be... Right. You have to be engaged in the fight, which makes sense. But it does give you, like, that session where I was stuck in the library, and because of my stupid subclass... which I say stupid, but I'm actually having so much fun with. I couldn't get back to be in range to hit someone. So I couldn't take an attack. So 2014 rules said that I lost my rage.
That's when you take your friendly dagger out and you stab yourself with non-lethal 1 point of damage.
Does that work?
Yes, it does. Because it is you taking damage.
Oh.
There is a cleric subclass that we are going to have to talk about at some point that has a mechanic that's very similar to that, but significantly more busted, that we're going to talk about at some point. I think me and Royal will probably do it on stream or on video, but I'm going to blow your mind when we're done with this. I'm even going to put it in my notes to talk about it. Because it's crazy. Because self-inflicting harm... It is a viable option in Dungeons and Dragons 5e to get what you want.
Oh, that sounds so healthy.
It does. If you're out there and you are trying to, and you're thinking about in real life extending your rage by self-harm, reach out to your friends. It's not, in real life, that is not a viable option. Don't do it. So on top of all of that, we're still getting our unarmored defense. And again, the math stays the same. It's still Dex plus Con plus 10. But we're also getting 2 weapon masteries of any weapon you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Loved that.
I love the weapon masteries. I think they're so much fun. At level 2, again, Danger Sense and Reckless Attack. These are going to stay almost identical. But whereas Reckless Attack is quite literally identical in that you attack with advantage and then everyone has disadvantage against you, Danger Sense got an upgrade. It used to be that you had to be able to see it. Now it states you have advantage on dexterity throws unless you're incapacitated. So you don't even have to see this shit coming.
Nope.
You just know that you are about to get bonked in the head by something that you could probably dodge.
Yep.
So far, Barbarian is nothing but buffs. There is not a single negative in going up to 2024 that I have seen.
Nope.
And that continues on our 3rd level as we get our subclass, but we also gain Primal Knowledge. So with this, you gain proficiency in another one of the skills that we had at the very beginning. So any of those that you didn't pick, you can now grab. In addition, while you're raging, you can channel your primal power. And when you make an ability check using the following skills, acrobatics, intimidation, perception, stealth, or survival. Stealth? Okay, I'm not going to question it. Hey, remember that heist we were talking about?
I forgot that stealth was in there because I don't ever use it during a battle. But
that is such a choice. How are we? Are we like quietly angry? I don't know, but you can turn those into strength checks now.
Oh my goodness!
I don't understand why stealth is on that list.
Maybe,
but I'll take it.
Barbarians are typically so bad at stealth, and what if you needed it for something?
But it doesn't. I mean, the only thing I can think of is you're probably the only member of your party that's not wearing some kind of armor. So maybe they're just trying to reward unarmored combatants.
Maybe.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me,
or
but it's so strong.
Trying to help a real clumsy orc.
Maybe it's like you're so focused that you're not like clumsy and knocking into shit, making noise. I don't know. That's a choice that I had completely glanced over until reading it just now, and that's a little gimmicky, but it's okay. We like it. Good for Barbarians.
Don't question it. Don't question it.
You're so mad that you're sneakier. Excellent. I can't wait to get to level 20 and bring that up. At 4th level, ASI or feats, as per usual. 5th level, proficiency is going up to +3, and we're getting extra attack and fast movement. This hasn't changed at all. Extra attack is still just as crazy, just as useful, and just as literally perfect.
Wonderful.
For anyone who has skipped ahead to the 2024 edition and skipped us for 2014, essentially what that is going to do for you is when you make the attack action, you are going to get to attack twice instead of once. Now, this doesn't mean it's a second action. It is when you attack. At 6th level, we're gaining... oh, shit. I didn't mark this at all. Who knows what we're getting at 6th level? I believe it's a subclass feature. Yes, it is. We're gaining a subclass feature, which is absolutely amazing. Because who doesn't love a subclass feature, I guess. Moving on to 7th level, though. Feral Instincts. Your instincts are so honed that you gain advantage on initiative rolls and instinctive pounce. As part of the bonus action you take while entering a rage, you can now move up to half your speed. So if you missed us talking earlier about the Barbarian getting to go first because they have advantage on initiative, sprinting at you with their +10, and then raining down 5 or 2 extra attacks. Now, when they go into rage to get that bonus damage, they get to move half their speed again.
Coming at ya.
What the fuck is happening here? Like... Let's really think about that for a second. Okay, so it doesn't state that you get, extra movement speed after your movement. Your movement speed is 40. So that means you're going to be moving 40 feet, and then you're going to bonus the action rage, and you're going to move another 20 feet.
Mm-hmm.
You're moving what most people dash.
Yeah, so I want to hit that. I can't quite make it. That pisses me off. So rage it is, and then I can do it.
Ugh! This is
So
how you chase a
good.
bitch down. Like, oh my god, it's fucking amazing. Barbarians, did they get the same buff that Warlocks got? No, but did they get a hefty one? Yes, because this is amazing.
Well, they were already real good, so
That's true. And Warlocks were not as good as Barbarians were in
Right.
2014.
Right. So we're trying not to break the game too bad.
Yes. I often joke, and I think I've said this in every one of the class videos, but when 2014 came out, it felt very much like, imagine sitting at a table of 12 people and everyone playing a different class, right? And the DM looking at the whole group and saying, everyone level up. Looking at the Warlock and saying, you level up 3 times. And then looking at the Ranger and be like, here's a +1 longbow. So it's like everyone leveled except for Ranger, but Warlock I feel like got 3.
Yeah.
8th level, ASI or feats.
Mm-hmm.
Again, really look at all the feats. We are going to have a video way later down the line where we're going to talk about every single one of the feats.
There's some really interesting
There's
stuff
some
in there.
really great ones. There's some really bad ones.
There's some really weird ones.
There are. I mean, anytime you're dealing with feet, there's going to be great ones and bad ones. Some of them stink a bit worse than others. We're going to walk away from this, and our audience is going to think I actually have, like, a feet fetish. Which could not be farther from the truth.
I mean, you're the one that said you were a feats man, so...
Feats. I am a features man. I like features. Just not the features on your feet. Level 9 proficiency is going to 4, and we're gaining brutal strike. Now, if you recklessly attack and you forego your advantage on one of your strength-based attack rolls, you can choose to add a D10 damage to that instead of having advantage. Now, this is a little bit different than the improved critical. I like this one more because I feel like you're going to be able to use it more.
I think so, too. And maybe that's why they did it.
Yeah.
It's going to come in handy more often.
Mm-hmm. Also, on top of that, you get a couple of extra little gimmicky things that you can do with that attack. So if you so choose to use your Brutal Strike and forego that advantage, you can either do Forceful Blow, which will push the target back 15 feet straight away from you. You can then move up to half your speed straight towards them without provoking attack of opportunity. Why is the Barbarian moving so much?
I don't know, but I love it because it's almost like you can push them away and then be like, just kidding.
Just kidding, bitch. Here I go. Well, it's 15 feet, and at this point, 20 feet is half, so you are catching up to them.
Oh, yeah, 100% you're catching up to them. You're overtaking them.
That's so...
You're giving them a glimmer of hope, and then she just yanking it right away.
And also, I like that this can be used defensively as well. If you're surrounded and you push someone, you no longer are going to provoke attack of opportunity. So you can kick someone away and then run the other way.
That's true. Or if you have more than one person around you in your space, get rid of one, attack the other.
Yeah.
But then you have less people that are going to be able to get back at you.
Yeah. After that, we have Hamstring Blow. The target's speed is reduced by 15 feet until the start of your next turn, and the target can be affected only by one Hamstring Blow at a time. So if you are playing with another class or another Barbarian that has this, you cannot just smack someone until their movement speed is 0. Even though that sounds amazing. Can you imagine like a group of like 4 Barbarians just like zeroing someone's movement speed?
Dang, at that point, just hit them and reduce their health to 0 instead.
I mean, I feel like for most people, 2 Barbarians, and you wouldn't even need the Sentinel feat, because you're just holding them down anyway. You're just holding someone down and beating the shit out of them with your best friend.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Yeah. level 10, we're gaining a subclass feature, as well as we are also gaining another weapon mastery. I missed our first one because apparently my note-taking was not super great when it came to weapon mastery. I was too concerned with features. We gained a third one at level 4, and now we are up to 4 weapon masteries. So you've got a nice little arsenal that you can be using, as well as a plus 3 in your rage damage. So not only are you chasing people down, but you're also beating the shit out of them, holding them in place, throwing them across the map, and using all your different weapon masteries. Okay, there are certain weapon masteries that I feel like this is gonna just be ridiculous. I gotta be honest, I feel like Barbarian is becoming one of the most... they were already terrifying for me, but as I'm going through all of these, they're just getting scarier.
Oh, I love them.
It's like
I love them so much.
I just did Paladin with Dane. We recorded a couple days ago, and I was not scared of the Paladin anymore. But
no.
I'm terrified of this.
That's because barbarians are beasts.
Yes. Level 11, we have Relentless Rage. Your rage can keep you fighting despite grievous wounds. If you drop to 0 while you're raging, you don't outright die. You can make the con save of 10. If you succeed, your hit points instead reach... Okay. If you succeed, you are actually kind of gaining health. Because you're gaining a number of hit points equal to twice your barbarian level. So at 11th level, that means you're getting 22 health.
22 health. Holy crap.
Each time you use this feature after the first, the DC is increased by 5. When you finish a short or long rest, the DC resets to 10. Holy fuck.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Listen. This bitch ain't dying. And he's chasing you down.
Yep.
I'm like almost speechless by that. Like gaining the health.
I feel like it's slightly broken, but I like it. I'm not going to argue with it.
I mean, because realistically, doing that 3 times would not be super crazy out of the realm of possibility, because that's just the DC of 20.
Right.
You know, once we start hitting 25, you know, it might get a little bit more difficult, but...
Yeah.
Then you just short rest and you're good to go again.
Kill me again.
Do it! Barbarian, that's insane. That's S tier feature right there. Level 12, we're getting an ASI. We love to see the ASIs, so ability score increase or feat. 13th level, proficiency bonus going up by 5. Improved Brutal Strike. So for this, whereas last time we had improved Critical, now we're just getting 2 new options that we can do with our Brutal Strike. And they are Staggering Blow, which is where the target has disadvantage on the next saving throw it makes, and it can't make opportunity attacks until your next turn.
Nice.
Like, come on. This right here is how you help your spellcasters pop those crazy spells that require saving throws.
Yep.
And you do it all while doing an extra d10 damage.
I'm going to knock them silly so they have no idea what's going on, and then our little warlocks and wizards can come in and just magic the crap out of them.
Yeah. After that, we have Sundering Blow. Before the start of your next turn, the next attack's rolled against another creature, or by another creature against the target gets a +5 bonus to its roll. Listen. Again, this is how, like how we had our mages, how you're helping them. When you have your, any of your fighters that have like Great Weapon Master that takes a -5 to their hits, or Sharpshooter with the rangers that have the -5, this is how you supplement that for them.
This is how you both are frontline and support at the same time.
At the same time. Again, support Barbarian. We're going to make it happen.
Now I really want to see.
And see, even if I didn't do like a bow, a sword and shield with it, or a mace and shield is probably what I'd do. So good. So good. I love it. 14th level, subclass, yet again. Because late game, we love our subclasses. And 15th, we get Persistent Rage. When you roll initiative, you regain all expended usage of rage.
Stop.
In addition, your rage is so fierce that it lasts for 10 minutes without you needing to do anything to extend it from round to round. Your rage ends early if you have unconscious condition, not just the incapacitated condition, or if you don't have heavy armor. I would
I
like to
can't
point out
wait.
you can only get it back on a long rest. So you only get to do that once where you replenish all of it. But yes, 10 minutes without having to do anything to keep it up.
I want that so bad.
15th level. We'll see if we make it that high. I don't know, but we'll see.
I hope so.
Because that's so strong. That's going to be great. Over at 16th level, yet again, we're having an ASI or feat. Because why not? We love to have features. That's really how you're going to make your character different from others, is the features that you take.
Right.
17th level. Proficiency bonus +6. Excellent. And improved Brutal Strike. Now, with this, the extra damage of your Brutal Strike increases to 2d10. In addition, you can use 2 different Brutal Strike effects whenever you use the Brutal Strike feature. Lord have mercy on anyone's soul. I mean, imagine you're over here, you're staggering and sundering them. So now your mage and your archer or great weapon user are just absolutely demolishing this poor soul that has vexed you in the wrong way.
After taking heavy blows from me.
Yeah, because they're already taking 2d10 plus your weapon damage plus your strength. Like, oh my god. After that at 18th level, we're getting Indomitable Might. This is where if your strength, you do the strength check. If the strength check is lower than your strength,
yeah,
your strength check or saving throw now. It's also saving throw now. You just get to take the ability score in its place. So that means the lowest at this point that you should be rolling on strength saving throws is a 20. At 19th level, we are not getting our ASI, but we are getting an epic boon. And so those are like massive buffs that 2024 has added for us that every class will get at 19th level. Okay. And some of them are pretty crazy.
Can't wait to hear about that.
Now, at 20th level, Primal Champion, they made a slight tweak to this, and I don't understand the reason why. So you embody primal power. Your strength and con scores are increased by 4. Their maximum is now 25 instead of 24. 25 doesn't get you an extra modifier. It does nothing. I don't know why they felt the need to make it 25, but... Oh, actually, I do. It's because if your strength score, if you're doing an ability check, now it's a 25.
Ah, okay. All right.
And so I want to point out, if you are raging, get ready. The lowest you can roll on stealth is a 25 as a barbarian of 20th level.
I'm big and muscly, but I'm very, very sneaky.
And then you add your dex on top of that, and if you're proficient somehow in stealth, you add that. So, like, if you are playing a 20th level one-shot and you want to do a really absolutely unhinged, like, off-meta stealth character, this is where you're going. Because you get to do it for 10 minutes without anything happening.
Oh my gosh, I need that in my life.
I don't understand it. I don't get it, but I really want to see it. Not gonna lie, I can't wait. I mean, I feel like at some point after our campaign is over, we're probably gonna have to do like a level 21 shot with our characters just to see like... That will be so funny.
The best.
I can't wait to see Stealthy Bula.
You won't. You won't see me because
that's true.
That's how stealthy I'll be.
That's true, because your boy Maraway does not have perception.
Right.
So, with all of these changes, now that you've heard the future of Barbarian, do you think you made the right choice switching from 2014 to 2024?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I don't think there's any negatives, honestly, because even the things that they changed or that I don't have, they did do a really good job of replacing it with things that are maybe even a little more useful. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the whole point was to make things better. That's why they made new updated rules. You know, it just took me a minute to get there, but I am excited about it. So, yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Bula as we move forward in her journey as a barbarian. Now, I do have a question. You can feel free to either lie about the answer or tell me the truth. But do you
Okay.
think we will be seeing any cross classing from Bula in this
No.
campaign? No? Okay. So we're going straight barbarian. So we're going to get to see a lot of these features in play
Yes.
over at the Knights of D20. We stream Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
So feel free to check us out over there if you're listening to the pod and not watching the stream. I appreciate you, but I would also appreciate you over there so you can see all of these amazing new rule changes in practice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think that's all we have today for Barbarian, for rules, how they are written, how they kind of are useful or not useful. Um, and I guess until next time, sneaky barbarians, we salute you.
That's right.
Bye.